For years, there has been one franchise that has been a staple in both mine and Davis's life, and that franchise is the one and only Star Wars. While the live-action content from the intergalactic epic is great, the work Dave Filoni does with this great animated series is groundbreaking. Star Wars The Clone Wars not only explores new lore and characters in the series, but it also makes sense of the prequel trilogy. Welcome to Pop Culture Now, I'm your host Colby.
And I'm your host Davis.
And this is our review of the final season of Star Wars The Clone Wars.
Every time I'm in the street, I hear
A youngling.
And who are you supposed to be?
I'm Ahsoka. Master Yoda sent me.
The Clone Wars made its debut in 2008 with the theatrical release of a film of the same name. That was when the world was first introduced to the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano. The show itself made its debut on Cartoon Network and continued to air on the channel until 2014 when the show was cancelled after the Lucasfilm acquisition made by Disney. The sixth and then final season aired on Netflix and followed Jedi Master Yoda as he discovered the path to immortality and learned of a grave fate that might befall the Jedi Order. It wasn't until 2018 when a trailer for the true and final season of the beloved animated show finally dropped at Comic-Con. The seventh and last season of Clone Wars made its debut as a Disney Plus original this past February, and while the season did have a rough start, the end in Siege of Mandalore arc is some of the best Star Wars content we have seen in recent years. The way our review will work is that we will go through and review all three different story arcs of the season as a whole, and then give an overall ranking of the season. Before we get started, however, we will say that this is a spoiler-filled review, so be wary if you have yet to see the final season of Clone Wars. So, without further ado, let's dive in.
99. The defective clones with desirable mutations. 99, eh? Nice touch. They call themselves the Bad Batch. The cavalry has arrived!
The first arc follows a new band of clones called the Bad Batch as they aid Anakin and Rex on their mission to save their long-lost friend Echo. The new group consists of Wrecker, Crosshair, Tech, and Sergeant Hunter, all defective clones with mutations that give them unique abilities over normal clones. These episodes take this group to the Cyber Center on the planet Anaxis, first introduced in these episodes, a facility run by the Confederacy. I'm going to be completely honest, these episodes would have been a lot more effective as maybe a special or even a movie to kick off the new season. But as a beginning arc to the new season, it just felt unnecessary. However, it was amazing to see how they brought Echo's character back into the fold, and in a way that was dark for most of Clone Wars episodes. We even got to see a little into the relationship that Rex and Anakin had during Clone Wars, which was really nice to see. While we did get some good scenes sprinkled throughout the arc in the long run, the addition of these new characters just felt like a wasted time, and I don't see the Bad Batch being very memorable faces in the Star Wars universe.
far from over.
Whoa, where did you learn to fight like that?
My older brother taught me.
Maybe you can teach me someday.
The second story arc in Season 7 follows Ahsoka Tano as she joins the two sisters Trace and Rafa Martez as she helps them with an existing disagreement between them and the sinister Pike Crime Syndicate, a subsection of Crimson Dawn which is ran by no other than Darth Maul. The 4 episodes shows the trio explore both the underground levels of Coruscant and the spice mines at Kessel that was last seen in Solo: A Star Wars Story. My biggest complaint about the storyline is how unnecessary the first 2 episodes truly felt to the overall story of Season 7, and also I just do not find the Martez sisters likable. The characters in my opinion felt like 2 characters that would have been introduced in the sequel trilogy only to get put in the back burner in the long run. However, what I did enjoy about the Martez sisters is how they shined a light on how the others not involved in the war view the Jedi and their order. We learned that the Martez sisters lost their parents due to an incident involving the bounty hunter Cad Bane and the Jedi. The Martez sisters and others on the underground of Coruscant see the Jedi as warmongers almost with no care for anyone but their order. However, these 4 episodes do not feel like they fit in with how serious and dark the last part of this season gets. That being said, let's move on with the best part of the season, the Siege of Mandalore. Siege of Mandalore begins with the long-awaited reunion of Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ahsoka Tano. Anakin and Obi-Wan are faced with the decision of if they should go with Ahsoka to free Mandalore or if they should go and rescue Chancellor Palpatine, which kicks off the beginning events of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. The initial raid on Mandalore delivers some of the best action sequences in Star Wars, and eventually we view one of the best lightsaber duels in all of Star Wars canon with Ahsoka Tano versus Darth Maul. This lightsaber duel is so fluid and so smoothly animated. It is everything that the lightsaber duels in the sequel trilogies lacked, and more. Ray Park, the original actor for Maul in Phantom Menace, actually returned to provide motion capture for the show, which brings just the perfect amount of authenticity to this lightsaber battle. This duel is only second to the infamous battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar later on in the Star Wars timeline. The pure dynamic between both Ahsoka and Maul really shows that they have been two sides of the same coin from the very beginning, and that they only known each other for a brief moment before this duel. We also discovered that Maul has had a vision in the Force that Anakin would cause the downfall of the Jedi, and would ultimately take the role of Darth Sidious's apprentice, something that Ahsoka discovered and chooses to withhold said information from the Jedi Council. The first two episodes of this arc delivered so much action and was beautifully animated with some of the best animation in the show history. However, the next two episodes are just as amazing.
The time has come.
Execute Order 66.
Yes, Lord Sidious. No. I'll do it.
Rex, what's happening?
Stay back! Find him. Find him. But find him!
Order 66. I never truly thought that we would see this in the Clone Wars animation, and it was everything I could have hoped for. Getting to watch the infamous massacre from the perspective of Ahsoka is heartbreaking, and only adds to the weight of the event. The Order 66 scene from Revenge of the Sith is undeniably one of the most iconic scenes in Star Wars, but what made the Clone Wars adaptation so much more heartfelt is that in the movie, you don't really get to see the character development for lots of the Jedi. However, in Clone Wars, we get whole episodes with some of the Jedi, and Clone Wars just had more time to develop their characters than the movies have. Jedi like Plo Koon, Shaak Ti, Kit Fisto were given emotions and motives, make the results of the event so much more heart-wrenching. Not only that, but one could argue that the clones have even more development than the Jedi in Clone Wars. In the movies, most of the clones are just cannon fodder, but seeing them turn on their fellow Jedi and some friends was one of the hardest scenes to watch in the show. Also, the fact that you can almost perfectly line up Order 66 from the movie and from the show side by side is absolutely mind-blowing. Overall, this long-awaited final season of Clone Wars did have a slow burn, and while the first 8 episodes do leave an unsatisfying feeling, the last 4 are some of the best Star Wars content we have seen in a long time. With that being said, Pop Culture Now gives Star Wars The Clone Wars the final season a solid 8 out of 10. It is a testimonial that animation, especially this style of animation, works amazingly well for Star Wars, and we hope to see more animated stories from the far away galaxy that we know and love.
Well, that was our review of Star Wars The Clone Wars, the final season. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a comment below and also like this video while you're at it. Make sure to subscribe and also hit that notification bell so you know when we upload next. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, see you real soon.